What's good, Gen Nation? ScytheX here with another video. If you missed the live reaction to the PlayStation Showcase, I would do so because these are going to be spoilers, because I'm going to do a little bit of a breakdown of what's going on, of what I think is going on. So if you missed the reaction, go check that out and then come back to this video. This is going to be a lot shorter than the reaction video because it's going to be way less filler, I'll say, due to all the other third-party stuff that was going on. I'm going to talk about third-party briefly, but the meat and potatoes is going to be first-party. So real quick, let's get into it. By the way, if you're not already, hit the like button, subscribe button, and drop a comment on which trailer was your favorite. Did you catch any more breakdowns or any more Easter eggs or anything like that? So let us know in the comments. So let's get into this video now. Right off the bat, they gave us Kotar. This is going to be phenomenal. Now, to be fair, I've only played the original briefly. I didn't play it through. However, from what I did play, it was a lot of fun. Thoroughly enjoyed it. But having this remade on new gen graphics, it's gonna be incredible. I cannot wait to see what they do with this. Did they get? I don't even think they gave us a date. I don't know. Probably not. Yeah, I don't think so. So yeah, it's remade for the PS5. Does not say PS4. Doesn't say Xbox One. You know, it's not. It is strictly. You would think it would be, since this was third party. You would think it would be on everything, but and maybe it still is, but for the sake of the showcase, I think they're just announcing that it's strictly PS5. It will not be on the old generation, so that's a plus, because that means a better optimization in the graphics and everything with it. So that is number one. Number two, they gave us a look at a new Borderlands spin-off game. Now, I'm iffy with Borderlands, and I hear from a lot of people it's a great game, and to be fair, I've never played it. To be fair, never played it. I was always interested in the art style, though. The art style is fantastic. So when I first saw this, I immediately thought of Borderlands, not knowing that this is going to be called Wonderlands, and I guess is going to be some sort of spin-off from the original Borderlands series. So I don't know what to make of it, because again, I don't know the storylines. I don't know if these are characters that were currently in Borderlands that are branching off, or these are completely new characters. But again, the art style always looks good to me. Gearbox does a fantastic job, and I really need, for my sake, so I can better understand this series, I need to play this game. Not this one specifically, but the Borderlands games in general. And then if I'm enjoying it, I will check this one out, because to me, whether I don't know if, like I said, I don't know if it's a new character or a branch off of the old, the old characters. So I don't want to spoil myself jumping ahead to this, not knowing who they are, and then going back and playing the old ones and be like, oh yeah, I know what happens to this character now, blah 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 blah. It would kind of ruin the experience. So before I do this, I'm gonna play Borderlands eventually. But this looks good to me. I always love the art style, and it's coming pretty quickly. March 25th. I don't even remember this being announced at all in previous showcases, so for this to be coming out this quickly, I think it's pretty good. So well done, Gearbox and the 2K family. This next game I'm very interested in. This was, I believe, Forspoken. Yeah, Forspoken. So they showed us this not too long ago in a previous showcase. They didn't show us her rifting, I don't think. They just showed us her there in the other world briefly, doing some cool tricks and abilities. But this kind of gives you a sense of what's happening. She was pulled, from her world into this, other reality, other universe, or whatever this ends up being. Again, this is a third-party game, so it's on multiple systems. It might even be on PC. But it does look good. It looks compelling. The abilities look fun. So to me, this is definitely, I'm gonna check this out scenario. It's not gonna be like a day one buy or anything like that. Maybe if I see more, but it's definitely a game that I want to check out and experience for myself, because it looks a lot of fun. You can tell with the fast movements and the abilities. It looks like a game that could be a lot of fun. Just look how fast you're going from rooftop to rooftop. So to me, the game looks good, and I can't wait to see more of it. Now, to me, I have a love-hate with Rainbow Six, because Rainbow Six Vegas is my favorite Rainbow Six game of all time, outside of Rogue Spear. If anyone remembers Rogue Spear from back in the day. Doing terrorist hunts, doing story mode tactical missions was just, it's incredible. It's such a cool experience. It's unique. And for me, Extraction now, it seems very single player, very much so a single player campaign, possibly. But the fact that they're boarding up the windows and everything like that also is showing me that it could be like a Call of Duty Zombies thing, where they're just coming in waves and you gotta just, knock them out in waves. I don't know if I like that, because we've seen it before, obviously, in Call of Duty and other style games, horde mode games and stuff like that. So I don't know what to think of this game. And if this is multiplayer, which I believe it is, it's gonna be more like Siege. And for me personally, Siege is I hate Siege. I'll just say it. I'm not a fan of Rainbow Six Siege. I've tried it a few times. Every time I try it, I just get bored of it, because I compare it to Vegas every time, and I'm like, why can't I take cover behind this wall? And the ability to take cover behind objects and walls and things like that, being able to switch from third person to first person instantly. Those were those were PS3 mechanics and graphics, and they were flawless. And the fact that the biggest Rainbow Six game to come after Vegas and Vegas 2 is Siege, where they stripped your abilities basically and gave you a dumb little lean to peek corners and whatnot in first person. I'm just not. I don't like it. I don't like it. It's not tactical to me. Being able to take cover is tactical. A simple lean. Yeah, the game just aggravates me. I want a remake. Tangent. I want a Vegas remake immediately. Or give me Rainbow Six Vegas 3, 4, 5, and just put us in different locations. I don't care. Give me Rainbow Six in New York, Rainbow Six Chicago, LA, whatever. But I want it to be Vegas style. With that being said, January 2022, Rainbow Six Extraction. It's on PS4 and PS5, as well as Xbox One, Series X, and PC. So this game is a very much a wait and see game for me. Real quick, we got an Alan Wake remake coming. This was rumored for a little while, and it was confirmed in the showcase. Alan Wake was an awesome game back in the day, so this could be a lot of fun. I'm curious what, if anything, because it's not a remake, it's a remaster. And the words get a little funny because sometimes like a remaster is just a carbon copy with elevated graphics, where a remake, like Final Fantasy VII was a remake where they added, different mechanics, they added different stories, story chapters and side stories of whatever. So I don't know if this is going to have different extra story material other than what we've already gotten, and it's just gonna look prettier, you know what I mean? So we'll have to see with that, but that is definitely coming, and it's pretty exciting because Alan Wake was a great game. October 5th, and again, it's old gen, new gen, and this is also a third party, so it's on everything else as well. Now, the most frustrating thing that we saw was that this, yeah, GTA 5. Like, we're never getting GTA 6, man. We're not gonna see a teaser on it. We're not gonna see a logo on it. When are they gonna give us this game? The fact that this was supposed to come out in November and it's pushed back to March, it just shows us that whatever, if ever, they're doing with GTA 6 is being pushed back as well, because their resources are on GTA 5 and their online service, which is a cash cow. They're just going to keep milking GTA Online for as long as possible on GTA 5. I truly hope that when 6 drops in 2040, it's like the largest game ever created. Not only for the online aspect, but for the story. GTA 5 broke grounds, having 3 characters, 3 different stories, all merging together, intertwining, being playable. And I think this is going to tie into something later, which we'll get to. But I want to see more of that in 6. But I want to see more locations. I don't want, let's say, just Liberty City, just Vice City, Los Santos, whatever. I want to be able to, because now that we're on SSDs and everything like that, we can jump from city to city to city to city instantly. It's proven. Rift Apart does it. Ratchet and Clank. Like, the systems are lightning fast now with these SSDs. I don't want it to be a one city pony. Let's get multiple cities in the game where instead of having the ability to fly around the same island over and over again for no reason, let me get in a plane and fly to Las Venturas, aka Vegas. Let me fly to Vice City. Let me fly to Liberty City. Let's fly. Like, the possibilities are endless. And it's doable. That's what I want to see. With that being said, GTA 5 is pushed back to March. We're getting apparently new story mode content. Looks like a brand new heist with Michael, Trevor, and Franklin and Lester. So honestly, that's pretty exciting because the story mode heists are a lot more satisfying than the online heists, even though the online heists are fun to do with your buddies. The setup missions could be aggravating, where doing a heist in story mode just feels more gratifying. With that being said, online's getting an update. Everything's gonna be pushed up to new graphics. If you can see here, we got new flying cars that look like DeLoreans. They're just gonna be freely flying around. And again, March. And here's one that's disappointing. Let's talk about the Marvel game, because this is going to probably kick off our first party section. Let's talk about the Marvel game that I'm least excited for, and that's Guardians of the Galaxy. There's something about this game that just does not feel right. And it's to my knowledge that you can only play as Star-Lord. So all the other characters are just, around. Is this gonna end up being, because we have yet to see gameplay, is this gonna end up being like a turn-based game where it's like, all right, Drax, go do your heavy attack or something? But we're not seeing anything. I don't know what to expect, and Star-Lord's dialogue just seems very forced. Like they're trying to make him Chris Pratt, have Chris Pratt delivery, and it just falls flat to me. It falls flat to me. I'm not a fan. I don't know what to expect from this game, but I don't know. So far, I'm just not excited. But you never know. We could be surprised. I think from there, we're going to jump to first party. By the way, Deathloop. Real quick. We don't need to see any more about Deathloop. We get it. The game's coming out very soon. I'm tired of seeing stuff about Deathloop. I think a buddy of mine, BG, shout out to Weapon Wheel Podcast, he said this is the most over-marketed game in history. These trailers and reveals are on literally like every company's like showcase, and you just see Deathloop everywhere. We don't need to see anymore. We just need the game to come out, and then we'll see how that is. When you see a game that's like super advertised, I feel like the company already knows it's going to be bad, because it just overrates itself like immediately. You know what I mean? So I don't know. We'll have to see about Deathloop. I'm interested in it. I was interested from the first trailer. 50 trailers later, I'm starting to get like, all right already. Like, stop showing me stuff. So we'll see. But I think we're gonna jump. We're gonna make the jump to first party and get to the bangers, because I have some breakdowns I want to do, and I don't want this video to be crazy long. With that being said, let's cut over to God of War. This game looks incredible. And to be fair, it's going to be on the PS4, so it's not fully optimized as far as we know, because they had to dumb it down a little bit for the PS4, which is unfortunate, because at this point, if you don't have a PS5, you're falling behind. You're SOL. But what I think is happening in this game, besides the fact that we are going to war, we're having Ragnarok happen, we're fighting Thor, I have a weird suspicion that Kratos is going to die in this game. One of the developers, it might have even been Corey himself, said that this is the final chapter, the final game in the Norse saga, I guess you would call it. This is Ragnarok, the end of days. Like, this is going to be the end of the Norse saga. I have a feeling Kratos is going to die. And got future God of Wars, maybe for a little bit until it gets rebooted into a different storyline or whatever. Future God of Wars might be led by Loki himself. We'll see. But I feel like they've been grooming us to learn more about Loki and teaching Loki how to fight and be a god, basically, and control himself and his abilities. I think that's the path we're going. We'll have to see, but this game looks incredibly good. It's just picking up where we left off in the first God of War from PS4. Tyr, this guy Tyr is gigantic. Nobody knew he was alive, and I'm curious how that's gonna play out. I still don't think they gave us a date, but apparently this girl is one of the last remaining giants. So if you remember in the first game, when towards the end of the game you went to the giant world and there were just slain, dead all over, and apparently one or a couple survived, and that girl is one of them. Also, the voice of Thor is Opie. If you remember, if anyone's ever watched Sons of Anarchy, I forget the guy's name and I apologize, but the character Opie from Sons of Anarchy is the voice of Thor, and I love it because this guy is a great actor. He has a great voice, and you hear his voice in this trailer. So there's a lot going on. It looks like you're fighting Freya for whatever reason. Maybe she's trying to stop you from causing Ragnarok. I don't know. But there's some shit happening. And since this is the final Norse saga, we may see the story continue as Loki figuring out who he is. Maybe not going to Asgard and such, but more of his magic side and kind of going in that direction, away from the Norse gods. You know what I mean? The Viking rule, the Thors and the Odins. We might be going more of the magic and figuring out who we are on the magic side. We'll see. I'm very excited for this game. They showed us a lot in that trailer. I'm super excited. Now talk about excited. Okay. I'm gonna break this down the best I can because there's some Easter eggs in these two trailers. Well, let me start Spider-Man. Not so much Easter eggs, more theories. The Wolverine trailer, I found some Easter eggs that I'm going to share with you guys. But let's get into Spider-Man. This was like, when they showed me Wolverine, I was jacked. I was amped for this. I was more, you might not have heard it in my voice because I was just completely in shock that they were giving us a Wolverine game. And the more that I'm thinking about it, you know, I heard something a while back that's starting to make sense now, and we'll get to that. But for them to, after showing us Wolverine, to end up giving us Spider-Man 2 as well, Insomniac Games is carrying the PlayStation franchise at this time. They gave us Spider-Man 1, a Spider-Man 1 remastered, Miles Morales, Ratchet and Clank. Now they're giving us Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine. Just all back to back to back to back. They're not slowing down. This studio is not slowing down. Insomniac Games is, they have to be the GOAT of PlayStation Studios at the moment. You know, like Guerrilla with Horizon, you know, they're doing their thing. Santa Monica Studios, for God of War, they're doing their thing, whatever. Insomniac is on another level at this time. And with the hype of the Spider-Man movie coming out and all this stuff, this showing us this was just like, it puts everyone's hype levels at an all-time high. Now, specifically with this trailer, again, Insomniac Games. With this trailer, they didn't show us the Marvel logo in the showcase. It started here. And I immediately thought Infamous because of the lightning that hits this pole. I wasn't thinking Miles Morales. And I think a lot of people were also thinking Infamous because it was rumored that Infamous is coming, possibly, and it might be shown in the showcase. It wasn't. Spider-Man was, because after this, now, right here, this is just, it looks like some guy, some goon. But right here, if you can see on the subway sign on the right side, that's the Daily Bugle. That's, you know,
It doesn't show it completely, but it's the Daily Bugle. That should have been like the first hint. Like once you saw that, I was like, oh boy, this is Spider-Man, you know. And they just give us the logo, and it's like, oh god. And then he's got, you know, it's not the Iron Spider suit, so the arms are kind of confusing, because at first I'm like, oh shit, he's got the Iron Spider suit, but it's not the Iron Spider suit. It's his OG, you know, the OG suit, his, you know, remade, remastered suit. So is this one of his gadgets that strapped to his back? I don't know. We'll have to see. It could be a thing where, you know, he didn't get the arms from Tony Stark this time. He's getting it from Doc Ock. Doc Ock made the technology with Peter's help. So maybe he incorporated his own extra legs. You know what I mean? It could be something like that. We'll see. But they showed us Peter Parker. Now they're showing us Miles. So now we're getting two. Look at this. They're doing a combo move. So a lot of people immediately jumps to this game might be co-op. I don't think it's going to be co-op. I think Insomniac is going to stay true to it being a single player campaign. But going back to GTA 5, this could be a scenario where we can select which character we want to be and what missions we want to be, and then at some point these two characters are gonna intertwine, and their stories are gonna come together. So like right here, this could have been, you know, you're on a path with Peter Parker doing his thing, and then you jump to Miles on a path doing his thing, and then it comes to you both landing in the same location. Which I'm perfectly fine with this. Like, I don't need it to be co-op. Co-op would be a shit ton of fun. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, it's like, I don't want to miss out on the Miles experience because somebody else is playing it, or the Peter Parker experience because somebody else is playing it. I want to do both, you know, I want to see both. So I'm very curious if this is just going to be, hey, you're Peter Parker and Miles is just kind of there, or you're going to be able to switch to Miles at any given time and just whoop ass with him and then switch back to Peter. Yeah, and I think this game is going to be very cool in that aspect if it goes that way. Now, the voice that's narrating this trailer is 100% Kraven the Hunter. It kind of threw me off with Kraven when we got to this scene and we end up seeing Venom. And you think Kraven's talking to Peter Parker and Miles like the whole time. It makes it seem like he's talking to them. He's actually talking to Venom, because Venom answers Kraven. Let me skip ahead. You know, Kraven says something like, are you two gonna be able to blah 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 blah, and Venom goes, yes, you know, yes we will, in the Venom fashion, of course. And just look how cool he looks, man. Holy crap. But so here's the thing. Kraven asking Venom in a way of, hey, are you both gonna be able to help me,
is interesting because it could be a misdirect where he's also talking, and this is one of my theories, he's also talking to another villain that we don't know yet, or he's talking to Harry Osborn, and Harry Osborn with Venom listening. Because in this iteration of Spider-Man, their inspiration for Venom is clearly going to be Harry Osborn being Venom. We saw it at the end of the first game. Harry Osborn Sr. has his son in some kind of containment unit, and he has, symbiote attachments all over the tank, trying to escape, it looks like. And when he walks up to the glass and he's talking to, Harry, I'm gonna find you a cure or whatever, one of the, the symbiote extensions touches the glass. That was the end credits scene. So we're getting Harry Osborn as Venom, which I'm all for. It's an interesting twist. It was in the comics written this way as another version of Venom. I'm completely cool with it. I'm wondering if we're also going to get Harry's father as Green Goblin, because he needs to make himself powerful enough. He needs to try to make himself powerful enough to help his son, and it makes himself crazy. And now they're all villains as an option. Is Kraven building a Sinister Six? Because if he's talking to Venom himself, right, and he's talking to multiple people, is he talking to Green Goblin? Is he talking to Doc Ock? Was he escaped out of was he broken out of prison? Because he's in prison, he's still alive. Are they building a Sinister Six in this game, with Kraven kind of being the mastermind possibly behind it? That's one of my theories. Are we getting a Sinister Six? What else could happen is the first half of the game, we're fighting Venom as the main villain. We then defeat Venom, because I want to talk about this logo. So in the first half of the game, we possibly defeat Venom. He loses the symbiote. Harry loses the symbiote. And it goes on to Peter. I don't think it would go on to Miles. I think it would go on to Peter to stay true. Now, is this logo kind of telling us that we're going to get Black Suit Spider-Man? Now, here's the thing. We can have two things happen that are either it's going to be this or that, or it could be this and that. And what I mean is, we could have Black Suit Spider-Man. This could be telling us Black Suit Spider-Man. This could also be telling us that this is the death of Spider-Man. Could, at the end of this game, could it be that Kraven kills Spider-Man in some form, and the Spider-Man franchise goes on with Miles? Now, it could be either or. It could be we're not getting Black Suit, but Spider-Man is dying, or this means it's Black Suit Spider-Man coming,
Spider-Man's not going to die. He's a hero. Or it's both. The first half of the game, we defeat Venom. We get the symbiote. We try to go after Kraven. I think we end up fighting Miles to save Peter. We lose the symbiote. When Peter's weak, Kraven attacks, kills him. Possibly. And now it's Miles versus Kraven, or Kraven escapes. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. We might not get any of this, but I think the symbol, the logo being black, is very symbolic to either the death of him or we're getting Black Suit Spider-Man. I would hate to see Peter Parker die in this game. I want the Spider-Man franchise to continue on with Peter Parker's story, because there's a lot of stories that Insomniac can grab from, and I want to explore them all. We don't necessarily need Miles there in every story. They can also give us Miles stories on a separate game, like they gave us before in the last one. It's interesting that this is a team up, because it could be, hey, like in God of War, hey, you guys are going to work together and eventually the OG is going to die and the young blood's going to have to take over. So like God of War, having Loki take over in the new direction of God of War, this could be Miles taking over the full Spider-Man mantle, because it's the death of Spider-Man. We'll have to see. I still think Eddie Brock is going to be Venom in this game. I think the first Venom is going to be Harry Osborn, as they showed us in the first, and he loses it at some point. Maybe that'll kick off Harry as Green Goblin, or we get his dad as Green Goblin, one or the other. Maybe Harry dies when he loses the symbiote because the symbiote's keeping him alive. Who knows? I still think when that happens and we defeat him and it goes to Peter eventually, when he loses it again and the symbiote, gets ripped from him by Miles possibly, that's when it might go on to Eddie Brock. Because Peter's actually friends with Eddie Brock in this universe. So I don't know if Venom's going to become the bad guy. He might be, like I said, in the first half. But when it goes to Eddie Brock, it might turn into Agent Venom, where he joins SHIELD, or he joins the group of heroes that's being formed. And I'm going to talk about the whole universe in a sec. But I think that's a possibility of how it can go. We'll have to see, but I truly think we're getting a Sinister Six. I don't think he's just talking to Harry Osborn and Venom as one, talking to both of them, quote unquote. I think he's talking to another villain. It could be Doc Ock, like I said, or whoever else. We'll have to see, but I think we're going to get some form of Sinister Six in this game. That's my theory. And we might see Spider-Man die. But this was a major surprise. I'm super excited for it. It's coming in 2023. It seems like it's a far date, because it doesn't even give us a date. It just it's at some point in 2023, probably holiday season. Because that's when I think we got Spider-Man 1. We got Miles holiday season. We're probably going to get this in the holiday season, which is fine because they're also building the next game we're talking about, Wolverine. Now, I'll play this trailer through quickly because it's a short trail, a little teaser. No sound. I don't want to get dinged for it, but I had no idea this was going to be Wolverine until I saw him sitting at the bar. But when I started analyzing this, there's a lot on this wall that I think was missed by a lot of people. I went down the rabbit hole searching all these things. But you could tell this is like, he seems more like Old Man Logan in a sense, but at the same time, is this when he became Wolverine and he's leaving Canada and he's going to meet up with, you know, Professor X at some point, or he's trying to go back to Canada? He's, you know, done with the X-Men and he's going back to Canada. Who knows? I don't know how this story is going to play out. But going back to this wall, there's a lot on this wall. And specifically, the first thing that caught my eye was this picture. It was the license plate. If I can find it, here we go. Nope, well, we'll talk about that in a second. But the license plate points to that. Damn it, I can't find the picture. But anyways, look at the license plate in the top right here. Or I'm sorry, on the right side here. It's HLK 181, and it's out of Quebec. So clearly, Logan is in Canada. And again, we don't know if he's going there after the X-Men stuff, or he's gonna be leaving there to start the X-Men stuff. We'll see. But he's clearly in Canada. He's in a bar in Canada. HLK 181 stands for Hulk, the 181 edition. November 181. So if you see this, I can't zoom on it. Nope. So if you look at this, Hulk 181, as you can see, 25 cents, 181 November. This comic was made in 1974. Now, if you look to the left of the picture on the register, you see 1974 as the price. So that's, you know, signifying, I'm hoping not the date, not the date of when this Wolverine is happening, because that would be it would be interesting, but it'd be unfortunate, because I would love to see him, you know, team up with Peter Parker down the line. So I'm hoping it's current time. And I just hope this is a little Easter egg to the comic book that was created in 1974, the Hulk 181, Hulk versus Wolverine. Is this something that we're going to see in this game? Are we going to fight Hulk in this game? Is Insomniac gonna introduce Hulk to us? Because, you know, we have Hulk in the Avengers game by Square Enix. That universe is not the same as this universe. Insomniac has their own Earth in the Marvel comic universe. Their Earth, Marvel 1048. Their Marvel Earth 1048. Now, if you look to the sticker where the killer whale is on the left for the refrigerator, it's a radio station for 104.8. That's an Easter egg, I think, to Earth 1048, which is Insomniac's own universe. So this is an Insomniac game, obviously,
but I think it's signifying that this exists in the same world as Spider-Man and the Insomniac Spider-Man games. It's kind of confirming it because it's the same Earth. And one of the developers for Insomniac Games said Spider-Man 1 was our Iron Man movie. Meaning Spider-Man 1 is the birth of their MCU in a sense. Now, we didn't know that meant other characters. We thought it meant we're getting, the Spider-Verse. We're getting Miles, all of the Spider villains and this and that, blah, blah, blah. I didn't know they were going to do Wolverine. So they're expanding to all properties of the Marvel universe, which is amazing. We could get a solo Gambit game. We could get a solo Captain America game. A solo... what's the name? A solo Iron Man or something like that. There's a lot Insomniac Games has at their fingertips, with Marvel being partnered with them, giving them the keys to the kingdom, incorporating a new Earth just for the company to create whatever they want to create. And what Insomniac Games is doing is canon as a timeline branch, their own Earth. It's really cool to see. But again, even though this is Earth 1048, I'm hoping this is not the year 1974. I want it to be in the current time with Spider-Man and Miles. And potentially, if we're fighting the Hulk, have Hulk be also in that universe and springboard his new game, or maybe an Avengers game that Insomniac's gonna make themselves. I think it's gonna be really cool. Now I started going down the rabbit hole searching for more clues and stuff. I don't know what this green hand blob thing is. Maybe it's just something green to signify the Hulk. I don't know. If somebody knows, maybe put in the comments if they know what that is, or if it's just a random prop on the bar. But I went down the rabbit hole a little bit, studying this comic cover. Now, this is Hulk and the Wolverine, but it's also Wendigo. Now, Wendigo is... I don't know much about him, so I had to look him up. Apparently, Wendigo is an Algonquin, which the Algonquins are a group of people in Canada. So it kind of further confirms the Canadian connection. This isn't just a hubcap on the wall. Maybe we're in Canada fighting Wendigo and the Hulk. Who knows? But Wendigo could be the reason why we're in Canada fighting. Possibly. And the Algonquin have a very specific language. And if you look at the bar where it says, the Princess Bar or whatever this is called, I think it's the Princess Bar. The weird lettering right under it is very similar to what I saw the Algonquin language looking like. And you also get a little bit of it in, if you look to the right of Wolverine's arm, there's more weird lettering here on this sign. So this could signify that he's at an Algonquin bar and he's looking for Wendigo. That would be my thought. This Wolverine story could be us going after Wendigo or hunting Wendigo down. And again, with Hulk 181, maybe it's not saying we're going to fight the Hulk. Maybe it's just referencing the storyline of Wolverine going after Wendigo as well in that comic, or being a part of the story. I'm hoping it's all of it. I'm hoping we're getting, Wolverine's going after Wendigo and then he runs into the Hulk in some form. But this wall, and I'm sure there's more things that I'm missing, like the poster that's in front of his face. I can't really see. It looks like some sort of city with buildings and whatnot. I don't know. The neon lighting in the top left corner, I'm not really sure. That could be something. There could be something in the reflection of the TV. I can't enhance the image to be able to see that. There's other pictures that need to be enhanced that maybe gives you more clues to things. But from what I can see, we're in Canada. We're in an Algonquin bar. We might be going after Wendigo because of the storyline that's in Hulk 181, which is on this license plate. We might be running into the Hulk in some fashion. That comic book was made in 1974. We have it on the register. This is Earth 1048, which is a part of the Spider-Man universe. It's all tied together, Earth 1048. So it kind of, I think I might have cracked the code of where we're going in this game. And I think there's more to unlock. And I'm hoping after more people analyze and break it down, we can figure this out. But I'm super excited for this game. Super, super excited for this game. Oh, and by the way, little tidbit. When you go to the PlayStation website, if you try to watch Spider-Man, you don't need to say that you're 18. When you try to watch Wolverine, you need to say you're 18 to watch the Wolverine teaser. Maybe that's hinting at that this game is going to have a mature rating, which this game absolutely needs. It needs to be Wolverine being angry, ruthless, brutal, all of it. Just a complete savage. But yeah. They didn't give us a date. They didn't tell us anything about it. But I think I cracked a little bit of the code of what's happening. Or they can all just be Easter eggs, and I don't know. But we'll see. This is a very quick teaser. They're going to show us more eventually, maybe in the showcase, months from now or a year from now. The fact that we don't have any sort of date kind of tells us they're focusing on Spider-Man, getting that out by 2023, and then maybe 2024 is Wolverine. Or maybe at the end of 2022 we get Wolverine. Who knows? But Insomniac Games is extremely busy. They're extremely effective. And at the moment, they're just knocking it out of the park with everything they touch. And that kind of wraps up the PlayStation showcase. There was a lot to unravel. It was one of their better showcases in a long time. I think I gave it an 8.5 out of 10. Mainly because the first parties blew out the third parties hand over fist. But let's not discredit some of those third parties like Forspoken, Kotar, and Rainbow Six, and the other games that I mentioned that I can't remember at this time. It was solid, but it wasn't heavy hitting. Besides maybe Kotar and Forspoken, to me. And as soon as the showcase shifted to the first parties,
it just like cranked it to 9,000 and blew it out the water. So the future of PlayStation, as far as their exclusives go, is in great hands. We have a ton of good stuff coming. This is why PlayStation, if you can afford a console, PlayStation 5 is the one to go after. They have the better story games, hands down, no questions asked. If you want to experience Xbox and you have money to also get an Xbox, that's fine. I would personally save that money you were going to use on an Xbox and buy a gaming PC. Because then you can get Xbox Game Pass on your PC and experience all that stuff on the PC, as well as all the other PC games. And then have your PlayStation 5 for all the story-driven craziness that is the PlayStation Studios has to offer. But I can talk about that all day. This was an 8.5. Those are my thoughts and theories. Those are the Easter egg breakdowns that I found. And I hope you enjoyed this video. It's a little longer than I want to, but when you get excited about this thing, especially with Marvel stuff, I could talk for hours. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Please do so. Also follow us on TikTok, Facebook. Our community is very active on Facebook. So please go over there, check us out. And yeah, that's it. We got more coming from Spartacris and myself. We're going to be pumping out more game videos. We have a lot to talk about on the movie side, especially with The Matrix. I'm coming out soon. We got Ghostbusters coming out soon. There's a lot going on. So from now till Christmas, brace yourself, buckle up, and enjoy this ride with us, because there's a lot to talk about. So yeah, that'll do it. We'll see you next time, Gen Nation. Peace.